1, I'd like to call this meeting of the Ways and Means Committee of Lansing City Council to order and let the record reflect that all members are present. Could we please have a motion to approve the minutes from October 17th?
I'll make a motion to approve the October 17th minutes.
Proper motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Public comment on agenda items.
It's not on the agenda item.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, that'll be quick. Hi, everyone. My name is Scott Bell, one of the co-owners at Great Wall Hall. Read the State Journal article about parking. Maybe going up. Just wanted to start that conversation about why you guys think that's going to improve downtown.
Well, so I will say the parking fee resolution was referred to this committee.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, right.
Yep. I didn't see the notes, the next one, so I was like, well, I'll walk on down now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It was going to be on today's agenda. I pulled it because we are still waiting for a number of changes from the parking office to include loading zones, maybe different hours of enforcement, other parts of the comprehensive parking study that we've done. Some of the, I'm not here to defend the parking study, but some of the findings in the study were that because our on-street rates are lower than our ramp rates, street-facing businesses are seeing people park and sit there and just pay to be there instead of going to the ramps. So folks that aren't visiting, I'm going to use QPs because I love QPs.
Same. I talked to all of you yesterday about it.
So when QPs is busiest, people are parked in front who are not patrons of QPs. There's someone who works in an office tower down the street that doesn't want to walk from the ramp. So the idea behind higher rates and progressive rates under the new parking fee structure would be it would drive long-term parkers to ramps, and it would drive those quick trip parkers to our on-street spaces, freeing them up for people who are trying to cycle through to businesses. So there is discussion about quick stop parking on blocks, i.e. free parking for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Those types of things to run in and grab your takeout order, to buy your items from the peanut shop, those types of things.
Yeah.
And then by putting in the progressive parking rates and making on-street parking more expensive, you drive long-term parkers into ramps and make the day rates on the ramps more consistent and less surprising. So that's the dialogue that's going to be had over the next few weeks as we look at other parts of the parking study. But I did not want to just pass a fee increase without a full component being talked about by the city and council. So that's why it's not here today. It was supposed to be, so this is the right venue for that.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of odd given that, Alpha Games, they're 75%, not
Right.
No one's parking in the ramps or downtown.
Right.
So the fee increase, they'll just absolutely flabbergasting.
The other piece too that it might seem counterintuitive, the parking system is what's called an enterprise fund. Did I get that right, everyone? All right. And it has to be self-sustaining. So the rates must cover the cost of operating the system. And if they're being underutilized, the rates have to go up to assess the cost of running the system. So hopefully we can, we'll find a balance there. But there's more to it than just the fee structure.
Sure.
And that's why we're not talking about it. But we are talking.
And that
That's why we're not considering it today.
That includes, that also shed some color on the harassment, the over enforcement of parking tickets, why they're so aggressive in this small downtown, which I know no one wants to do in parking.
I'll defend our parking enforcement officers.
I love them all. I give them free concert tickets.
Yes.
Of course, then we pay for things. I could go on 3 minutes here. But yeah, I think there's a lot to discuss about, just the Lansing Center parking costs rising. When you got Lansing Shuffle, they were validating parking when they opened, and she said she was paying $10,000 plus a month to bring people down. They stopped doing that; it's too expensive. And it's free after 6 everywhere. This doesn't actually impact my business. All my concert goers and folks who come to weddings, they're coming after 7. We're just here because we need a vibrant downtown, and having lived in this town my whole life. My mom worked at the state. She just retired. They're not coming back, and the road blocking from the parking department is crazy. Like I just thought about Lansing Shuffle. that parking still costs after 6 o'clock. So I don't know how long they stay in business. I don't know how Mikado Club, my next door neighbor, is gonna arrive at lunch or dinner. If the parking increases and as aggressive as it currently is, given the size of the town that it is, and how absolutely vacant I see the downtown short-term parking in the street.
Side note, if I may,
Yeah, please.
folks that come and want to dine
Yeah.
and visit our downtown
Yeah, on
business
the Cubies.
that have maybe avoided doing so because they can't ever get parking. This could motivate those folks that are parking there that should be
Yeah.
using ramp parking to open up those spaces
Yeah.
because of the increased prices. If you're coming down for one stop, like, $6, whatever the case may be,
Sure.
for a one stop as opposed to a daily fee that you're adding to your monthly expenses. So it could be.
Yeah, I would counter that, you can park in Old Town and there's an unspoken, you can probably get your business done in an hour, not get a ticket or you pay for it, and they're not as aggressive. But when you see them harass someone who went to QPs and they got taxed, that parking ticket.
They harass them by enforcing the law. Is that what
They
you're
do, yeah, I
suggesting?
know. There's so many spaces open all the time and increasing parking is.
Is it 1 minute, 5 or 15? That should be the grace period given. for someone
I think definitely, trash tax, I think it should be free and then it should be full. When full, then let's talk about it. I know it's a non-starter there.
Yeah,
Between-
not many actual cities you can park free downtown.
So, I tour managed an artist. I've been 48 states, Europe and Australia, twice a year. Given my lovely hometown, Royal Oak and Ann Arbor, picking them up. But between Social Law, Temporary Shoe Repair, Barron's Window Cover, all these places, Totsie, Blue Green East Lansing, Veg Chance closed Monday and Tuesday. She doesn't have any business, and she's picking up MSU contracts to make sandwiches. 20 Veg Chance during the week. I bet her time's limited down here.
Well, I am excited about the new $350 million project we've got coming in downtown with 530 units of housing and
Yeah,
737 new parking spots. So
yeah,
thank you for your time.
yeah. Guys, great to meet you.
You as well.
We'll hopefully have further discussions.
I was going to be at the Greywall Hall for the pundit summit, but got otherwise scheduled.
I took my leave. John Engler was getting home long way. So,
Thank you for your time.
Hey.
As I said, this will be a longer conversation.
okay, will there be like the next
Other
meeting?
hearing. I don't know about the next meeting because it depends on when the other stuff gets to the committees, but it'll be.
Thank you guys, thanks for everyone's hard work.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of them with the city government, thankless job.
You well.
Downtown.
Thanks.
After 12 months of operation, you think I would have gotten around to business.
If you want to, our cards are out front if you want to pick anything up.
I certainly will. I'll start a quick change, just say hello.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Be well.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Okay, first item on the agenda for discussion is the donation acceptance for the Shemark Events Charity Golf Outing donation to the Victim Advocate Unit. Carol, would you?
Hello. This is the first time that we have received specific funds being beneficiaries of the Shade Mac golf outing. They do their event every year. This year, we were just blessed to be chosen to be one of the recipients, and the funds are donated specifically for advocate unit use.
Great. Questions? There's a resolution to accept the donation. Where's the resolution?
Oh, it should be there. Oh, here it is.
Oh, it's on the back. I'm sorry. Save it.
It's like, wait a minute.
Got it. All right. Yes, there is a resolution. We have a motion to approve.
Yes, I'll make a motion to follow the resolution.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time. Thank you all.
Thank you for coming down. Next item is a grant acceptance for the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund. We have I'm sorry, Charles, I read your memo, so I didn't see that you needed to say anything except that you recommended for approval. Okay. All right, very good. Moving on to the next item C, Brett. It is the Natural Resources Trust Fund.
Yes, so We received a couple of grants from the Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund. Both of these are for acquisition. So this came before this body in terms of applying for the grant, and that's why this may sound familiar to you. Both of these are along our river trail. One is for an extension of the river trail in the southwest corner of the city. And so the basic gist of this is 75% of the cost of the appraisal. So there's no real negotiation here. It goes to appraised value of the properties. The amounts that you see there would be the not to exceed as far as the grant program would go. Anything that would go over that, we would either need to reapply or cover that ourselves. But the state of Michigan would pay 75%. The city would be on the hook for the 25% of that. Again, there are two different ones. There is one on East Kavanaugh. This is just south of the entrance to Hawk Island. There's a couple of houses and structures there. It's an odd-shaped parcel that would be adjacent to the river trail there. The other one would be extending the area that is the consumer's energy right-of-way, and this would be west of Waverly there. So that is, again, you have seen these before. I do know that there was some concerns that were had over the resolution and specifically the differences between the Parks and Recreation Department and the Department of Natural Resources. So Greg, I don't know if you wanted to address that.
Yes, I'll do that just real fast.
Okay.
I received communication, I think that originated from internal auditor, and then there was a discussion just about the language that's in the resolution. You're correct in those final resolve paragraphs that should reference Department of Natural Resources instead of the Parks and Recreation Department. And then there's a reference in the resolution, and I think it has been in these resolutions for a really long time referencing we'll keep these records in perpetuity. That's not required by the contract. Council's free to take that language out if you want, but I'll just say for the most part, yeah, thank you.
Well, like, just tell me what language to take out.
The reality is because these are land, all of this is land documents, we keep them forever anyway.
As long as we own the land.
Yeah, typically we never get rid of this land. I mean, I don't know if we can.
Any dedicated park land would need to go before a vote of the public to be able to be sold back, which this would all be, a part of that. The other thing is there is requirement if for some reason the city would sell this back, that would be a red flag with the Department of Natural Resources as far as using those funds for it, and then
it's almost deed restricted.
So selling that back. So that's where a lot of more perpetuity comes from.
But the fact that we own the property, that goes into our more or less document retention. We hold documents to no longer own something. So it would be the greater of what? Document retention plan or grant requirements? Like that?
No, because these, when you look at retention of documents, all documents connected with our acquisition of land, we keep forever. The clerk doesn't like me about that, but I insist upon it, and we have for a very long time.
So the resolution,
So, I mean, I guess, so I'm proposing, I'm writing in the changes.
regardless of what the clause says, we're keeping it forever.
Correct, but I would be more than happy if you want to take that reference out. For auditing at reasonable times, I would just remove in perpetuity. Because the agreement itself governs that we've got to keep them for 3 years, so they can come in and look.
And then in clause 1, it's DNR and Parks and Rec.
Yep, clause 1 and 2, it's DNR instead of Parks and Rec, so I've changed it. I've struck Parks and Recreation, and then Department of Natural Resources, and again, striking Parks and Recreation so that it's Department of Natural Resources.
Is it still DNR? It's not Eagle?
Oh, no.
No, yeah,
Yes.
Eagle is DEQ.
No, that's right. Go ahead.
Let me know if that makes sense.
So if we're keeping them, why take out, why not just leave it if we're keeping them anyways?
Because then we're not bound by law to do so, and if something changes and I'm not here to yell at the clerk, then maybe somebody decides to get rid of them, we don't get in trouble with ourselves.
I would argue the same point, but differently, that putting this in law creates two separate document retention standards. And if we have a document retention policy that we adhere to, we should not adopt a separate one on a case-by-case basis.
Thanks.
Would be violent if you were taking it out.
Unless the grant requires.
Unless the grant requires.
Right.
This grade is.
This
No,
right.
the grant's like 3 years.
So with that, we are amending sub 1 and 2 to change Parks and Recreation Department to the Department of Natural Resources, and we are amending sub 2 to eliminate the words in perpetuity at the end. Does that work with everyone?
And we're taking out Parks and Rec as well.
Yes, yes.
That works?
Cool. I will need a motion to approve the amended resolution.
Yes, I make a motion to approve the amended resolution for the grant acceptance for Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund grant.
That is a proper motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. As I mentioned earlier in the meeting, parking fee resolution, we're waiting on a couple of different fees as well. And then I have told Raleigh, Dr. Carpusson, that we aren't moving the fees until we get the TCOs on changing loading zones and things like that, so that we have a whole parking package. The administration understands and is patiently waiting for that to be done. So that will happen. And then Director Fontaine was going to be here today to talk about the Office of Neighborhood Safety grant. She had done with the family and county. So we are tentatively waiting for the 21st.
It confirmed for the next
Confirmed
meeting.
for the next meeting, so we will hear about that as well. So if you have any questions that you want to get to ahead of time, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, at 3:17, we are adjourned.
Thank you.